So, do you want to hear my worst car breakdown story I ever had? It's a fun one. My camera's a little bit laggy, so I apologize on that. My hands don't keep up when I move them. This is laptop streaming for you. Alright, so we're going to keep on doing this with my ghetto camera. We'll clean it off. Anyways, so one time I lived down in this little town called I lived in a town called Utica. Yeah, Utica, Kansas. And I was going into high school in a town called Ransom, Kansas, which the only way you can find that is if you go like 30 miles south of Waukene. If you know where Waukene is, it's on the interstate. Otherwise, closest things like Hayes. So anyways, lived in the middle of freaking nowhere. And at the time I was dating a girl, summer began, and she was going to go to Wichita to spend time with her dad. And I was going back to Oberlin, Kansas, because my parents still lived there at the moment. So I was going back because I had just turned 19. I moved out like the day after I turned 18. And I was excited to hang out with my friend Hunter. Hunter had a kid on the way and all kinds of cool stuff. So in Utica, really, oh my God, Utica is a middle of nowhere town. That's insane that you've been there. I lived right across from the park. So anyways, there's two ways I can get home. Well, there's like three ways. The longest way is I go all the way over to Ransom, and then north to Waukene, and then on the interstate over to like, oh God, what's that town called? Hoxie, and then north from Hoxie, right? The next way you could go is you go over into, I don't remember the name of the town anymore. It's another small town, like Holyoke or something dumb sounding. And then you go north through a town called like Gem, and you go, it's another one. And that's like an extra 30 minutes. Or you can take a freaking dirt road for 20 miles, and it cuts off like at a huge amount of time, right? Huge amount of time. That was a mistake. That was a big mistake. So I start going, and I was driving a 1992 Subaru station wagon at the time, right? Great vehicle. It was a stick shift. That was cool. And so I say, screw it, let's go. It's like 5 o'clock, and it's May. It was a Subaru station wagon, like old hatchback. It could go fast, but it wasn't really a racing car in my opinion. It was my first car. It was blue. Anyways, I started going down this dirt road. This is the middle of nowhere, like Kansas, okay? Like no one for miles, Kansas. And as I'm going, it's twilight is hitting, and it's that weird time where, if you live in the Midwest, you know the type of sunset I'm talking about, where it's like death dark on one side and still a little bit of light on the other side. So there's that weird in between where you can't see shit. And so a deer popped out, right? Deer popped out. I stop as best as I can. So I crank that wheel, and I freaking slide like a mother trucker. And the deer's like, durr, 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 gets out of there because the deers are freaking invincible to everything. Didn't hit the deer. And what happens then is I get out, and I go to check my tire, and my tire is bent and lodged up. Okay? So the tire itself like came off and up a bit, so I can't drive. It's locked. And I try and kick it into place so that I can, take the wheel off, because I have a donut that I can use to get there, essentially, to get where I need to get, because this is the middle of nowhere, but I can't get it to work. Okay? So I go to my cell phone. Well, at the time, I had a crappy, I don't even know if there's a name for this. It was Straight Talk had just came out, okay? If you know what Straight Talk is. And I had the first flip phone you could get from Straight Talk, okay? It was one of those ones that you paid by the text, or you had paid by the minute, but after 7 o'clock, you had unlimited minutes. Yeah, I'm old. I had 1 bar, and I had like 2% battery for some reason. I don't know why I didn't charge my phone. So I have enough time to call like one person before my phone just completely gives out, right? That's what I have to do. So I go ahead and I call my dad, and I say, Dad, I broke down on a dirt road between Utica and the next town. Please send help. He starts to get across a question like, wait, where are you? And then my phone just dies. Like out of a freaking movie, it just dies, right? So I'm out there. Darkness has now completely taken hold. And I don't know if you've ever heard the sound of cows in pitch black darkness, but for some reason it's creepy as shit. Cows don't just go moo, 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 moo. No, they're like, and I'm like, what is that noise? That's not a normal noise I should hear. So I'm sitting in there, and I lock my car door as best as I can, you know, at my Subaru station wagon. No phone, no nothing, no lights. I don't want to run the battery as much as I can, and I'm just sitting out there. And like an hour and a half passes, and luckily my dad was able to get a hold of the people I was living with, the girl's like stepfather. He came out, he was all pissed off, like, you know, have to get out of here and do all this shit. We're able to kick the tire kind of into place, get it off, put a donut on, and he just leaves, right? I still have another 15 miles to go before the next town, which was not Oakley. I don't remember what this one was called. Quinter. It was called Quinter, Kansas. It was between Utica and Quinter. And so I get to Quinter, and I pull into their main street, and at this point it's like close to 1 in the morning. Like a lot of time has passed between breaking down, waiting, him getting there, trying to get the tire changed in the dark, me only going like 5 miles an hour on the dirt road on my donut because I have nothing else to, you know, have to. If I break down again, I'm just boned. So we get to Quinter, Kansas, and it's like a ghost town. Okay, complete ghost town. No one there, and I just kind of wait to see, because the gas station doesn't have an air pump, and that's what I really need is an air pump to make sure that this donut can get me to where I need to go. You know, I don't want to drive on it much, but I have another like 70 miles before I can get home, and it's like 2:30 in the morning before I see someone because the rest of the town's shut down. And there's like this 6'7" goth guy walking down the street in the middle of a Kansas town near the co-op, right? And he has like black hair down the like side of his eyes, but not like cool black hair, like lumpy black hair. And he's this huge, tall dude. And I say, hey, I broke down. And he just turned, like, he doesn't like normal head turn, he like body turns at me. And so that was already like, I'm gonna get murdered. I say, do you know if there's an air pump anywhere in this town? And nicest guy like I met, voice is super cheerful. He's like, oh yeah, there's an air pump over near the co-op. Just go down here and take a left. Keeps walking in like quiet solace afterwards. After I got air in the tires, I was able to drive home the rest of the way. I got home around like 4 in the morning because I went so slow to make sure everything was good. Yeah, helpful ghost. Fact. So I was able to get home, but God, if that wasn't a journey and then some to make it work. You know, it was an endeavor, to say the least. And I think everyone has a good car breakdown story of some sort in their life that they've encountered and ran through. Reliable cars is something you don't get until you're much, much, much older, it feels like. And it's taken some time to get that. So that's one of my stories. I think the sleepiness is picking up rapidly. Guys, I can feel it. I can feel it taking over my face now. It's like in that part of Lord of the Rings when Treebeard starts talking. And you can tell Treebeard's gonna just continue slowly talking. Until you just can feel the sleep take hold. And then... yeah. Alright, you guys, seriously, get some rest. Take care. Tomorrow's Monday. It's the start of a new week. People say Sunday, but really it's Sunday. Come on. Is Sunday the start of the week? No, we work. We know what really the start of the week is. It's Monday. Sunday is a weekend. That don't count. Alright, guys. I'm signing off. If you need me, get a hold of me in the Discord. You're all amazing people. Have a good night. I'm gonna try and go pass out now. See you guys.